So Jack, welcome to the show. I appreciate you coming here on short notice. We're thrilled to have you. So right now, as a Kane County clerk, you're in charge of the elections for all of Kane County, is that correct?
Correct.
Except the Aurora portion of Kane?
Right. I think in 1934, Mr. Bond, correct, I think it was on the ballot. The people of Aurora voted it in.
Okay.
And my stand is, I had two mayors from Aurora come to me and say, we should do this. And I explained that my stand is basically, it was put into place by the citizens of Aurora, and it has to be their decision to do it. There's no reason that the Kane County clerk should get it. So I've been sort of on the outside. So basically your question is, you've got two questions. What happens if...
Well, let me stop you there. So just to everyone, all the viewers are clear, this is not you wanting to do this. This is not Chris Lawson wanting to abolish the election, correct?
I can only speak for Jack Cunningham.
Okay, well, but it's not you. You're not trying to push this.
No,
Okay,
no,
we're just talking to you about what happens if it gets.
Right.
Okay.
Basically, it's not my job. There's nowhere in the statute that I have control of the election commission. It's the election board, it's the people of Aurora that determine that.
Right.
I want to make that clear.
Thank you.
The only thing I can do is tell you what we do and what I will do afterwards. Basically, we think we could save some money. Right now, both the citizens of Kane County and their county taxes and citizens of Aurora are paying for the election commission. So if you live in Aurora, you're paying for it through your county tax and your city tax. Now, based on their EAV, the value of the property, the county has to give them so much money, because the state statutes state that the county shall be in charge of the elections, except where they have boards like this. They had Peoria, Chicago, and those areas. So, basically, we have no authority over them, and if in fact it is done away with, we will operate in an efficient manner. We will not be firing anybody. We will be using the same staff. As a matter of fact, there has to be a transition time, which I think will take 2 years, in which the election in November, and this,
March?
No, March.
All right, that's
done away in March, then
yeah.
we have to take over immediately in November, and we have plans in which to do that.
Okay.
And we would be using the Aurora Election Commission and Board simultaneously. We've been running 2 elections with their equipment and we doing ours, and we have equipment. Our DFM board allows us to put their data into the...
So you don't have to buy any new equipment initially, or
not at this point. The first few years, we will not be buying any equipment because it's a major outlet of money.
So a big question is, everyone wants to know, so you'll keep the office, you'll keep most of those people, and then what about, will you provide other services like birth certificates and death certificates and things like that, or not?
Well, I've been trying to get satellite offices in Aurora. Aurora is the second largest city in the state, and I feel because of the population that basically a satellite office there would make our functions, licenses and birth records, that's for marriage license, more available if we had a permanent office in downtown Aurora. And so we have plans that the city will help us out in that if they do away with the election. Right now, under the GR Hall is in Aurora, there's the parking deck, there's a series of offices there. We've already looked at those offices, not regarding the election. I still like to get it down there, even if the election commission is not, it isn't done away with. And actually, we would have space down there and be able to provide our full services.
So I heard you've been talking about this for many years, since 2012 at least. Is it you don't have the budget or the manpower, or why haven't you done it so far?
Basically, the iron hasn't been hot enough to strike. And, right now, the iron's striking, and the city's talking about it and asking. Now, the mayor of Elgin has also come to me for a satellite office. So my ultimate goal would be to have one in Aurora and one in Elgin. Ours would be in Geneva. And his argument was basically, I know we want Aurora people, but his argument basically, even though Aurora is the second largest city in the state, Elgin has the largest growing elderly population. And it's harder for them to get from Elgin to our Geneva office than it is from Aurora.
So Jack, I did take I emailed out and got some questions, and that is a problem that people are worried about. If we abolish it, and if you don't open an office, is that harder for the handicapped, the elderly to vote? They would have to come to Geneva, correct? To register to vote, or?
No, they'd be able to register in Aurora also, in our office.
But so you're saying, if the election commission gets dissolved, you'll definitely have an office there?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay. So then how about saving money? Is it going to really save money, and is it just going to save money for all the Aurora taxpayers, or the Kane County, or the DuPage County?
Well, right now, the people in Elgin are paying for Aurora's election commission, and people in Aurora are paying twice for it. When you look at the figures, basically, I think Aurora's cost of opening a precinct is $20,000, ours is $8,000. I think their cost per vote is 20-some, and ours is $765 or something like Eric Dirksen said, most people won't remember him, he said $1 million here, $1 million there, it ends up being a few dollars. So,
What about to run an election? Is it going to cost less because there's...
well, there's more people, so, you know, Aurora has, I think we'll be taking over about 57 precincts in Aurora.
Okay.
And that'll be added to our 228, and there is a savings in numbers, as you know.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons we look a lot better than they do, because they're dealing with, I think, 72 precincts, and we're dealing with 228. So we add those in. Taking over Aurora, as far as my task would be equal to about Elgin plus 10 precincts.
Okay.
See, we also already have part of Aurora Township as well.
Okay. Right. So if you take it over, you said you wanted to buy equipment initially, but you will down the road or not? I mean, it's going to be a lot.
Well, right now, what I'm doing, I'm taking inventory of our equipment, and what we're doing is we're looking at how many votes are cast. And we have a hard equipment, which is all electronic, so it's pretty easy. And we think basically we will almost have enough equipment to fill the 50-some precincts in. Now, if you had to go back originally and buy all new equipment, you'd be taking 50-some times 25,000, because that's the basic, about the basic cost for the hard work in the per precinct. And then also it's imperative for us to keep, it's done away with, it's imperative for us to keep the Aurora judges, because they're already trained, so none of them would be losing their jobs. And the gal,
We're talking about election judges,
right?
Okay. Okay.
When we make a mistake, we meet the other ones with this election judge.
Okay.
And actually, Linda Fechter is, I respect her. We meet, and even Lillian's been at meetings with me. They're very professional people.
Yes.
And there always will be a spot for people with talent in my organization.
Well, that's great to hear. I think that's a concern of a lot of people. That's great to hear. Let me see. What about, since I've got you here, the turnout for municipal elections is really pretty poor. I think it's, 10, 12%. Why is that? And I know you've been doing this a long time, and it's not your business to get them to vote. Is there anything you think we can do to get people to vote? Anything else that we're not doing? In Australia, they fine people $20, and they have like a 90% turnout.
Well, basically, they've got to be motivated, and unfortunately, those are the elections that affect their tax dollars more. So to me, I've been around this business for a long, long time, and it's astonishing me that they don't realize this and they don't vote more often.
Right.
Now, we have several programs. We use early voting. As a matter of fact, the last elections, 50% of our voters voted early.
50%?
And one precinct had an 80% turnout.
Wow.
Now, what that does, if we can...
In Aurora?
Well, not Aurora.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
But in Aurora, we took it over. We'd be very aggressive. We'd have more early voting sites.
Okay.
And we would have a mobile unit down here to go to each ward in the city of Aurora and have access. So we would work very hard to have a greater access so people have the ability to vote. So.
Jack, do you think we'll ever get to you're a technology guy, even though you've been around, I've seen your office. Do you think we'll ever get to the point of voting on a phone or online?
Well, there's still security questions, so at this point I don't think we're ready, but,
maybe down the road.
They flew a man to the moon, and I can't say things can't happen. So hopefully, I can see us eventually going all vote by mail like Oregon has.
Okay.
Now, that does away with the equipment, which costs millions and millions of dollars. It does away with the judges. Okay. And the money, the cost there will be in mailing. Okay. But if you look at the amount of money for the judges. Wow. Now, we've been able to save $100,000 a year in judges in Aurora, because what I did, was very proactive, and I went to Springfield. Now that we can cluster judges, 4 precincts on there, we have 20 judges under the 5 judges per precinct, and to me, that was a waste of money. Okay. So we did go to Springfield and have an initiative where this primary, we only have to have 3 judges per precinct. Now, that saves $100,000 in judges. Okay. That's for this primary. So I have legislated in the Senate right now, in which they're going to try to extend it to every one of our basic elections.
Do you have anything else to add, Jack?
No, Aurora Election Commission is deep to my heart also, because in 1965 I became a city father, and I worked with Carl Bates, who people won't remember, but he ran the Election Commission at that time, and so I was involved I worked with him to the point that I was responsible with him to bring in the first punch cards. Because prior to that, we had the Australian ballot,
Okay,
where you had to put an X, little box with an X next to the name.
okay,
And if the X didn't cross in the middle, or you checked it, they didn't count it.
okay.
So you had guys my age and women the evening going hash marks, 555, then they go to the election commission, and they'd add them up and put the number 10, and they'd add them up, and that's how they got it.
All right.
That was brought about because of the, at the time, the 1964, the state legislature failed to reapportion.
Okay.
And so everybody had to run large, so we had 220-some names on the ballot.
All right, let me, one thing. Thank you very much for coming and taking your time. You're also a candidate this time, right? Again, and you have an opponent this time or
Oh,
not?
certainly.
Okay, so your primary is in?
In March.
In March too, okay.
So I may not be the one working with these lovely people.
Well, you've been around a while.
The election commission has to find people, and
Okay.
I know them all personally.
Okay. Well, we appreciate your time, Jack, and good luck in your election.
You take care.
Okay, thank you.